Up next on Inside Marquette Basketball, Shaka Smart talks about his team's early success and how they can continue to improve. Later, Kirk Queth sits down with Patrick Reed to talk about family, fashion, and basketball. Then, the team visits the Salvation Army to make Thanksgiving meals. Welcome to Inside Marquette Basketball. I'm Sophia Minert, joined by Marquette's head coach Shaka Smart. And Coach, last time that we spoke to you, the team was getting ready to go out to Charleston for the Shriners Children's Classic there in Charleston, and it was a great tournament for you guys, a great showing. It started with the 2 wins against Ole Miss and West Virginia. Both of those games, you had to come back down 12 in each of those wins. Let's start with the Ole Miss game. Justin Lewis had a career-high 21 in that game. You know, what did the team show you, and Justin specifically?
You know, I think for our team, every game we learn a lot about ourselves. And, you know, the season started in a way where it was like rapid-fire games. We had 6 games in our first 12 days of the season. So what that meant was we were about 15, 16 days straight with no off day for the guys. And in some ways it's good because you're together and every day you're able to kind of evaluate, okay, what just happened? How do we improve? What do we need to do better? What can we build on? But that Ole Miss game, we told the guys coming in, it's gonna be the most physical game we've played all year up to this point. Very athletic team. And sometimes you can say that, but then you have to actually feel it when it happens. But our guys did a good job adjusting throughout the game, and particularly at halftime. And as you mentioned, Justin, he's really grown. You know, his consistency level compared to where he was even a couple months ago is really impressive, and we needed it in that game.
And one thing that stood out in that win, Coach, was the three-point shooting. And that was something that was there for you in Charleston and in both of the wins. I think Justin had 5 threes in that Ole Miss game, but as a team, you shot 40%. Was that encouraging to see, you know, the team have that kind of success on the perimeter?
Well, we have a lot of good shooters on our team when we take good shots. You know, it's one of those things where I think as a player, you know, you maybe want to take any open shot you can get or any type of shot you can get, but over the course of the season you realize, hey, these shots are going to be higher percentage shots for me and my team, and these other ones are not. So again, we're in the process of learning that. I thought the guys did a good job of not getting frustrated early when the ball did not go in, and then we were rewarded in the second half by playing the right way offensively and getting each other good shots.
In the West Virginia game, kind of a similar script. You were down 12 in the first half,
yeah,
but then you were able to put together that 13-0 run in the second half. What changed at that stretch?
You know, Sophia, obviously the goal was not to get down early in the game, and we've been down in the majority of our games, if not all of them. So we definitely need to do a better job starting the game, and then, you know, throughout the first half, making sure there's not a lull in whether it's defensive energy or offensive execution. I mean, let's be honest, the best teams are able to put 40 minutes together. But early in the season, you know, you're striving towards that. I think the biggest thing that changed was our aggressiveness. Again, we told the guys going into the West Virginia game, hey, these guys are going to be really aggressive. They're going to try to bully us. You know, I've coached against those teams for a long time, you know, being in the same league as West Virginia the last 6 years. But I thought our guys responded really well. And then, again, the way we played offensively in terms of moving the ball, creating shots for each other, it goes a long way into scoring, I think, 47 points in the second half.
And Tyler Kolek led the team in scoring in that game. What have you seen from Tyler at this point in the season, and how he performed for you in that tournament?
He's a unique player. You know, he's arguably our most important player because he creates so many opportunities for other guys on our team. I say he's a unique player in that the thing that he works on nonstop outside of practice and games is his shooting. And he is a very good shooter, although his percentage is not great so far this year. But the role we have him in on our team, just because of our roster, is point guard. And, you know, he has to create a lot of opportunities for other guys. I should say he gets to. But, you know, it's unique in that hopefully as the season goes on, we can create more good looks for him because he can really shoot. But he also has the ball in his hands a lot. And I think one thing he's showing is, you know, he is a more well-rounded player than maybe what his reputation was coming in here.
And Omax Prosper was really active on the boards for you as well. How is he establishing himself on this team and with his activity?
You know, Omax is a guy that we're still trying to help him kind of learn what he's best at and then do those things to the best of his ability. He's a very, very talented young man. I think his future is really bright. Last year at Clemson as a freshman, like a lot of freshmen, you know, he had some challenges. He didn't play as much as, you know, maybe he expected to play coming into the year. And this year's role is much bigger. So we need him to play with great aggressiveness. He just had good activity, and that's what we need for him on this team.
Fans are getting to know Kerr Kweth. What has impressed you most about him as a player and a person, what he brings to this program?
Well, I got a chance to coach against him for a couple years at Texas. He was at Oklahoma, and I just was always impressed by his spirit and his energy out there on the floor as an opposing player. So this spring when he entered the transfer portal, you know, our staff was really, really interested in him, and we felt like, you know, he'd be a guy that would be a good addition to our team. Again, because we always liked the way he was with his teammates, his energy, how team-oriented he was. And he's been great. It's been terrific having him here. I like to tell him, Kerr, you're 10 feet tall, because believe it or not, and this is a key with a lot of guys, the biggest thing with him is him believing he can do it, whatever it is. He doesn't necessarily naturally have, you know, an abundance of confidence. And so he's in a different role here as a starter than he's been previously, and we believe he can be terrific. He got off to kind of a slow start in the first couple games. He and I, you know, had a couple contentious moments after that, because I just was like, man, you got to believe in yourself, and we believe in you. We're putting you in this position, and you got to go after it and not be afraid to fail. And I think he's been really, really good since then.